Good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube. In today's video, we're going to do a few jobs on the boat. I had planned to do this last week in any case, but we're experiencing fuel shortages in Ireland because of blockades, fuel blockades, and people complaining about the price of fuel. So this week's video is going to be about me getting a few bits and pieces, some maintenance work done on the boat. I know it's nice to get out on the boat and have adventures and fun and games, but you do have to do continual little jobs on the boat to keep it in good working condition. One of the jobs we're doing today is this bow roller. About 3 weeks ago, when I was launching the boat, this took a bang on the quay wall, and it's now slightly bent. So today's video, one of the jobs we're going to do today is straighten this and get this working properly again. Another job that we have to do, the nav lights, I don't know, is it a coincidence, but they've stopped working, and I don't know, is it as a result of the bang that this took or what, I just don't know. So today's video is going to be all about fixing this bow roller and having a look at the navigation lights. Now, I'm going to just take this apart, and the two tabs here, one on each side, they're both bent over to the right a little bit. So I'm going to try my best to straighten those and reassemble this, and hopefully this will pivot as it's meant to. So we'll start with the bow roller. The bow roller it's a sort of flexible roller, and it's held into the jaws with this bolt that you can see me undoing. I'm undoing it with two 14mm ratchets. Now it is jammed in there, so I anticipate a little struggle to get the pin, the bolt out. You can see a little ferrule in the middle, and I'm having to unscrew the bolt from the jaws itself because the whole thing is twisted and it's jamming. You know, it's binding on the bolt. So you can see me now, and just unscrewing it, and with any luck it'll free up. So the bow roller took a bit of a bang a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, and what actually happened was when I was reversing it off the trailer, the bow rope got caught in the trailer, and as I was reversing off, I was trying to reverse against the rope basically, and it got caught on the trailer, and it pulled the boat forward, and I crashed into a quay wall, and that damaged the roller. So I managed to get the roller off now, and you can see there on the left and on the right, the roller is twisted over to the left. You can see them, if you look at the back part of the roller, there's a bit of a kink in it. The one on the left, the port one, the right, as we're looking at it, the one on the right, is bent, but it's not terrible. It's just bent itself. So it was a case of trying to straighten that. The jaw on the left, our left, the starboard side, actually has a kink in it where I'm showing you there, and it is bent as well. So it's got a kink in it and it's bent. So today I will try and to straighten the jaws using a combination of a hammer, an adjustable wrench, and a C-clamp. Okay, this is the bow roller, and if you look at it, you can see it is slightly bent to our left, or your left, and it's really kind of bent to the starboard side. So the plan today will be to try and straighten the two of these. I will be using this spanner here you have there, this wrench, and I will also probably use a couple of hammers to try and tap it straight. It all depends on how well it goes. And, you know, I will also use a G-clamp because I'll be able to grab hold of it, and I'll have a good bit of leverage when I go to straighten it. So I'll do a combination of all three, and I don't know how this is going to go, but I will just massage it gently and do tiny little movements, and hopefully the end result will be a straight bow roller. I'm trying to tweak it there, as you saw, gently. And here's the G clamp I'm using, or C clamp, depending on what you want to call it. And with that, it gives me good purchase onto the bow roller. It gives me a good bit of leverage. As you can see, the boat is moving on the trailer. But with the clamp, I have the ability to kind of straighten the bow roller in the jaws. And once I have it in the jaws, it also gives me the chance to tweak it little by little. I don't want to try and bend it in one go or bend it back into shape in one go. It is a series of little movements because I'm afraid that I will bend it in the wrong direction and put a kink in the stainless steel. So you can see it's beginning to return back to its normal position. And again, small little tweaks are the way to go. You can see me there now, tweaking it a little bit by bit. And once I get as we're looking at it, the right-hand side fairly straight, I will attack the left-hand side. You can see the left-hand side actually has a bit more of a twist in it. It's sort of twisted and kinked. The piece on the right-hand side, as we're looking at it, which is the port side of the boat, that actually was bent over, but almost bent uniformly. It was fairly easy to get that to go straight. And here I'm using a combination of the wrench to bend the end of it back. And again, tapping it there gently to try and get the final result. So I'll just work at that, and you'll see me continuing to just massage it and tweak it. It looks fairly good now, and I'll move on to the left-hand side here. Like I was saying, or like you read in the thumbnail about a fuel crisis, there is a crisis in Ireland at the moment. And here I am now with the C-clamp, trying to actually straighten the kink before I start bending it. But yeah, we have a fuel shortage in Ireland at the moment, and the road hauliers and the agricultural sector, they're suffering big time with the cost of fuel. Our fuel has soared to between €2.15 and €2.20 per litre, which is probably somewhere, if you're watching in the US, somewhere around $10 or $11 per gallon. So here I'm just tweaking it straight again. This side is going to be a little bit more tricky because it not only is it bent over, but it's also kinked. So I almost have to sort of straighten it and then try and get it back. I'm judging both sides of the bow roller, and you can see me tweaking the right hand side, because ultimately the rollers have to go back in there and need to be able to swivel up and down. The swiveling actually makes it easier for the anchor to come aboard and locate itself. So again, here I'm just giving it little massages with the C-clamp. Anyway, getting back to the fuel crisis, you had fuel protesters protesting obviously about the cost of fuel, and they decided to blockade the main arteries in the country, the roads, the motorways, and they also blockaded the oil refinery here where I live in Cork, and it's the only refinery in Ireland. And they didn't allow any trucks in or out for 4 days, and as a result, all the petrol stations have now run out of fuel. Here I am now, just tweaking that a little bit, trying to get it all. You can see where I'm rubbing with my thumb there. There's a little kink in it that I'm trying to gently and slowly get out. But yeah, so the blockades were removed yesterday, and and the hope is that fuel will be available in the coming days, maybe even later today. The bow roller there now is becoming to look a little bit straighter, but it's not quite there. Where you can see me putting the clamp on now, struggling to put the clamp on, there is a kink there. And what I'm going to try and do is tighten the clamp, tighten the kink in between the jaws of the clamp to try and straighten the kink using the clamp, tightening the clamp. And I'm hoping that the tightening action of the clamp will actually force the kink a little bit straight. I'm going to use the back of my wrench here just as a lever to try and tighten the clamp down in order to force the bow roller straight. So in effect what I'm doing there is tightening the clamp, and with any luck that will put a little bit of pressure on that kink. And if I can get the kink out and then get the actual overall side of the bow roller straightened, I'm not expecting it to get absolutely perfect, but I would like it to get at least looking some way sort of straight, and then the bow roller back in. I'm undoing the clamp now to take a look. And it's beginning to look straight, but there's still a little bit of a kink in it, a little bit of a twist. Again, you know, I've tapped it once or twice with the hammer, but it is difficult to actually get in there where I need to hit it, you know, gently. When I say hit it, I'm not talking about too hard. So it's beginning to look some way kind of straight. You can see it moving after I've hit it with the hammer. And again now trying with the clamp. I'm actually looking at it now going, what next? So again, I'll just try with the clamp to get it twisted. You can see me twisting it out now a little bit. And again, giving it another tweak. What actually happened was I was taking the boat off the trailer a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now maybe, and the bow rope got caught in the trailer as I was reversing it off. And there's a little bit of a spring in the rope I'm using, and the rope got jammed on the front of the trailer as I was reversing off. It got hooked around the bow throat, you know, where the bow sits in, and as I was reversing off, the rope got caught on the trailer. The boat jerked to a stop and sprung me back towards the dock, and it's like a concrete pier, and I had no way of stopping it in time, and the bow roller hit the pier. You can see there now, when I started this, the whole thing was twisted, and the roller just wouldn't budge one way or the other, and it is on its way to getting fixed. There you see the bolt with the ferrule I just wanted to line it up there, make sure it was going through. I actually have to screw the bolt onto the ferrule. I'm doing that just below the camera shot. I set up the camera so you could see what I was working on. So I'm screwing the ferrule, or the bolt, into the ferrule so that the whole lot will go all the way through. I had to hold the ferrule actually with the jaws of the C-clamp and then twist it with the ratchet. So hopefully the petrol stations will get open, like I'm saying, and we'll be back to normal, or as normal as can be. This is all as a result of the conflict in the Middle East. I'm sure everywhere in the world are suffering with the availability of petrol and diesel, or gasoline and diesel, if you're in the States. So I'm just getting the bolt and the bow roller ready to refit. It was a difficult camera shot because I didn't want to film it from on top, and I didn't want to film it from behind, and I wanted to be lower than it so you could see what I was doing, because if I was standing in front of it, it would be very hard to film. So I'm sort of standing below it, and the nut here is it's a little bit awkward actually, because I think whoever fitted this bow roller originally, they used a bolt that was too long, and they cut it, but they damaged the starting thread. So it was a little bit awkward to get the nut onto the bolt. I didn't want to force it, because you'd strip the threads in no time, and so I had to line up the nut and sort of play with it to get it to go on. You can see there I'm still not happy with it, and I took it off again so I could actually do it down it. I wasn't reaching over my head to try and get the nut and bolt to marry up with each other. So I'm about to refit the roller with the nut. Off camera you can't see me there, but I'm just straightening the thread at the start of the bolt. So I have plans really for the summer. I want to get a tent made for the front of the boat, and in the seating at the front, there's a table and a V seating, and I want to actually make a tent and go camping. Underneath the console, there is a small little area, cubicle, for a toilet. I have a little chemical toilet on the boat, and it would actually be very comfortable to go camping. So I just need to get this set up, and I'm in the process of designing that now. Probably do a video on it, and I want to get the cushion made for an infill cushion made for the front seating, and the tent made so that when the weather gets a bit warmer in the summertime, there you can see the rollers working good again. Anyway, I want to go camping and take all of you guys on, like a 2-day camping trip on the boat, where we will cook and cook and fish and do a bit of exploring. My head is just out of shot there, so apologies for that. Anyway, I'll move on to the navigation lights, and we will try and get that sorted. Okay, these are the two nav lights in question. So I'm going to take these off and put the multimeter on them and see is there power coming to them. Now, as I got up here, I don't know if you can see it. This is the bow roller we were just doing. So this here, it's hard to see it on the camera, is actually slightly bent over in. So I'm going to try and pull that out from on top now, make it look hopefully a little bit straighter. Hopefully you can see me and see what I'm doing now. Okay, I think that's good enough now. There's a small little bit in it, but honestly I don't think it's going to affect anything. So we'll get back now to the two nav lights, and I actually have them switched on, but they're not working. So, you know, I rewired the boat some months ago, so it could be a simple thing as a bad connection. I may have done a bad connection. These two lights are linked together, so I will just take one off and check the voltage. I might take the second one off. It could be the bulbs as well. And indeed it is the bulb. When I hit the key wall, I did give it a little bit of a thump. So I'll just put the multimeter on this here and see what's going on. Yeah, I don't know, can you see that now? We'll see, can you see that? See, saying 12.3, 12.4. Yeah, so I'm guessing when I took a bang on the front, if you can see the bulbs here, there's a bit of corrosion in that, actually, a little bit of corrosion, but the bulb is all white inside. The bulb has blown. So I will try and pick one of those, two of those up today maybe. I'll just check the second one here now as well. And indeed, ouch, that actually just broke in my hands. Good job I was wearing these little thin rubber gloves. I could have cut myself. Anyway, the hope would be to organize somewhere for me to sleep and have a custom made tent. And that would mean that I can go away camping in the summertime. Yeah, there's power at this as well. So what I'll do, I will organize a couple of replacements here, and we'll get those working today. In an upcoming video, this here is a sink. Now it's a bit green from the winter time, so my plan is to replace this cover. This is some sort of acrylic cover. I want to basically renovate this whole thing. This is a useful thing for washing your hands, because there is a toilet on the boat, and for washing your hands and for cleaning fish when we go fishing in the summertime. Now, what this is basically is like just a shower head with a pipe that's all rock hard. Now it's just past its prime. And then we have the sink here, and underneath the sink, you can see it. You probably can't see it on the camera. I need to join a pipe from there out to the drain, one of those skin fittings. And here, there's a pump underneath the deck here, which is faulty. So I've bought this pump here, this new pump, and this here, it's still in the box. I won't open it now, but it's an easy water. It's a shower head basically, with a nice little cover where the shower head comes out through that. Now I probably won't need to use this cover, but the shower head and the pipework and the connections to go to this pump. It's a pressure pump, and on the end of this is like a lever. You just press it, the pressure pump will come on, the water will come out. So next week's video probably is going to be me renovating this. And another job I've managed to pick up this it's a bracket for the outboard, for a secondary outboard. Now there is this bracket on the boat here, but you know, it's not very stable when the engine is on it. There's a lot of movement in it. So what I want to do is discard this, make up some sort of a bracket here, and put this bracket so that I can lift the kicker motor up and down, and you know, it's just an added bit of safety. So those two videos are up and coming. The video next week will probably be me fitting this and fitting these here, and there'll be nice upgrades for the boat. Okay, just back from the auto parts store. I got myself two bulbs. You can see them here. So let me just clean these contacts here. Just give them a little bit of a tidy up. They're not terrible, but they just give them So I'll put the bulbs in and then I'll switch them on, and if they're working, you're actually going to see it before I will. So these are the bulbs here, really two tiny little things. Okay, let me just go and switch those on. You'll probably see them before I will. And we have one working. And that's the second one working. Okay, so that's good news. That was an easy fix. So I will just turn that off. Incidentally, I have these wired to a switch, and I have a stern light, but that also doubles as an anchor light. So I have the nav lights. Navigation lights are actually switched with my instrument lights. When the instrument lights come on, the compass light and the dial lights, the navigation lights come on, because you know we're only going to be using both those things in the dark. And my anchor light actually, or well, it's actually my stern light, my all-around stern light, and that doubles, as I say, as an anchor light. So that doubles as my stern light, so, or as an anchor light as well. So I know this was a simple fix. The longest part of this job was actually getting the bulbs. They just came from an auto parts store here where we live. It's an English company called Halfords. I know if you're watching from the States now or somewhere else in the world, I'm guessing you'll be going to a Napa store or something similar. There's nothing special about the bulbs. They're just automotive bulbs. Oops, turned it the wrong way. So even though this was a simple job, they are essential to have these lights, because sometimes I do get back in the dark or in the early evening, and you do need your nav lights. It's a legal requirement. So even though it was a simple fix, it's a very important fix. So once I have them screwed in, I will turn them on again just to check them. Make sure they're all working fine. These lights are original to the boat and they're still working fine. I mean, I guess you could probably buy newer ones with LED bulbs. But you know, I am not that way. I like to keep the old things alive, as opposed to just swapping out for new. So I'll just turn on the lights again here back in the console. You can't see me, but you can hear me. And hopefully now I have my green light and it's working, and the red light's working. Well, that's it for this week. I know today's video was a little bit different than normal, but these works are essential. I do have a list of other jobs I want to get done to the boat. Because I use the boat all year round, I really don't get a chance to sort of do a refit or anything like that, or catch up on all the jobs. I'm using the boat constantly. So I am going to do those couple of jobs that I said to you, get the sink, recommission the sink, and get the outboard bracket fitted. And I've also got one or two other jobs to get done. I do want to go camping, like I said, and I do want to get a tent made and take you aboard for, 2-day videos. It will, be of interest, and maybe do a little bit of fishing, a little bit of exploring. I do want to get back out to the Lusitania. I've tried that twice now, but the weather has beaten me. So I am going to wait until the weather is a little bit better, further on into the spring, to try that again. So next week, it'll be probably another couple of maintenance job video, and we will take it from there. I've had a few subscribers this week, 4 or 5 new subscribers. I'm up to 111, this big number of 111. I would like to get up to a couple of hundred, 400, 500, who knows. Anyway, like, share and subscribe. And thanks everybody for jumping on board, and thank you very much for watching. See you next week.